What a game he has second half. First half, he was just so, he was sitting too deep.
Jersey number 10.
Yeah, jersey number 10. I think, second half, he really came out and played very well. I just think Tunisia, second half, towards the end of the game, it was a nail-biting, Nigeria
But why was it that close?
For me, I just think the tactics, for both teams, Nigeria, they decide to come out at Tunisia and they play on the front foot, play two at the three at the back, play one-on-one with the striker. And unfortunately, Tunisia have only one striker and they deal with it very well because you have Ajayi and Bassi that can run forward and go backward, So
and the subs?
Yeah, sub. For me, the Nigerian sub, for me, I just feel like putting the wingers was unnecessary.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, you took out a midfielder,
yeah.
Which was very important because we highlighted before the game that the midfield is going to be where the game is going to be won. Yeah. And immediately Onyeka went out, the midfield was open. You cannot play in Ndidi or Iwobi. Iwobi is not going to mark for you, but he can drive the ball, he can carry the ball. But he cannot mark for you like in Ndidi. And Ndidi, towards the end, 15 minutes to go, he was tired. You need someone to help. And you put wingers that, they only have to defend because you don't need to attack because you are leading, So, yeah, it's not... At least you have to close the game because this is a sprint. It's a tournament that you need to sprint as much as you can for you to win games. As far as you win the game is very important, but how you win it is very important too.
Okay, well, maybe too close for comfort then for Greg Itafia. At one stage, they were 3-0 up, they were cruising. And then Tunisia came back and they kept fighting. Let's take a look at the numbers. They improved with the ball possession, Tunisia, because they had less than 30% in the first half. They're getting to just over 40% of the ball possession there. And we spoke a lot about the crosses also. They kept coming from Nigeria, over 20 crosses by the Nigerian, but a much better performance than Tunisia.
A much better performance, Tabi. So also looking at the passes, the number of passes, if we compare to the first half, it shows that Tunisia was taking more of the passes, more control of the game, They were showing up, they were creating those opportunities, there were more bodies around the ball, more bodies in the box as well. Also looking at the fouls, I think we also mentioned it's going to be a very physical game.
Yeah.
Hi, the Nigerian goalkeeper showed up.
The only thing that was missing was a red card.
And you can see the shot on target too. We talk about Tunisia, they're very clinical. Two shots on target and 2 goals. So it's very important. Nigeria have 5, scored 3. But, Tunisia, I was just so surprised. I was so happy, they missed the last chance there.
I think you also mentioned it at the start of the game. In Nigeria, even in their previous match, they created chances but did not concede.
Very clinical,
Yes, however, we did touch on the fact that it has been a better match for them because now they showed up more as a team, not as individuals. Because, we even saw Osman play.
Pass.
Pass and lay the ball back, which came as a goal. I think it was a second goal. So I think a better performance
But you
Nigeria.
made a very good point about why he was passing, Greg. Maybe you can share with our viewers.
For me, Osimhen is one, every striker, want to score. So as soon as he scored the first goal, so he's happy and everyone
can
score.
Share the cake.
So for me, that was a clever. You can shoot there, as a striker when you're in the box. Some strikers you have to be safe for you to get more goals. But you decide to pass to Lookman, which is incredible.
Yeah, it was more of a collective effort this time around then from Nigeria. Talking about Lookman, he did get the Player of the Match award. Had a very good game again, scoring for the second time in 2 games.
Lookman, congratulations for your victory, congratulations for your trophy. How you feel after this game?
3 points on the board. Step in the right direction. I think today we were dominant from the first half into the second half, and then they had a spell which they scored 2 goals in. But apart from that, we was very good today.
Do you have any particular message to all your Nigerian fans?
No. Keep supporting us. We need you. We need you, really need you. So keep on being behind us, keep on driving us, and keep supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Former CAF Footballer of the Year, of course, has scored now in 2 consecutive games at this AFCON, has been very involved there, not even as a supporting act for Victor Osimhen, but he's coming into his own here at the Mola Lookman. Let's take a look then at how these 5 goals eventually came, starting in the first half, though it was always Nigeria making the early running there, looking for that marksman, looking for Zoro up front there. The crosses kept coming, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, very well. You can see, I mean, you went in the goal zone, in the red zone, you know, they tried to cut back, which was important there. But Osimhen, at that point there, you know, he didn't hit the target.
Yeah, but he was threatening already. You could tell that he was hungry. He was looking to get off the mark at this AFCON, Victor Osimhen, even though he didn't hit the target, but he kept getting those chances. And I don't think it was a surprise that the goal eventually came.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise, Tabiso, but also I think for him to pick up that the Tunisian team is already standing and creating a wall at the back. So I always say that you need to try the different options. So if we are not able to penetrate, what else can we do? Take a shot sometimes because you already have bodies and numbers. Sometimes it might go to the keeper who might, you know, tap it back and then somebody might right in and just, you know, create that goal opportunity. So I think that was also very intelligent of him, even though it did not really hit the target. But already he could pick up that there's a problem, that Tunisia is going to stand and just park the bus.
And that's why Nigeria kept coming then. And that's why they kept putting those crosses, looking for him there in the middle. And they do find him, Victor Osimhen, but surely here he should have found the back of the net or at least the target.
I mean, clinical striker like him, you know, just once as deliberate for him any day, you know. On his day, he can put this, you know, score a hat-trick, but this one he missed this target. But at the same time, again, you know, the defending from the Tunisian defender there, he's not even looking at the man. You know, he's just watching the ball. We always say the man scored the ball, so he needs to know where the striker is. He needs to check his shoulder, you know, open his body. But at the end of the day, Osimhen missed the chance, and he was very lucky there. Yeah,
very poor defending from Tunisia.
They don't even jump up with him.
No, not even. But again, for me, it's you are a defender, you are in your final third, even in your goalkeeper zone, the 6-yard. You need to be man marking. There's no way that you are hoping that the striker is following you. It's like they are hoping that, you know, I'm a magnet, I'm a defender, Osman must come to me. No, 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 you need to go to Osman and find him where he's at and position yourself in a way that I can see the ball coming, but I can also see him. So you can be able to see. That's all he has done in this match. He peels away, he delays
his
run,
he's the main
and he
man.
goes
That's
to the blind spot.
Guy that they're going to look for when they have the ball.
So why not from the get-go be on top of him and make him feel as uncomfortable as he possibly can?
And they kept looking for him, Victor Osimhen there. With some great link-up play also with Ademola Lookman. He was also very, very involved here. And once again, Bassi there also with the cross, looking for Osimhen once again, and he still finds himself in between those defenders.
Yeah, you know, definitely. You can see Bruno there, he couldn't cross the ball. You need to bring it back to Bassi there. That's why, as I say, you know, it's very important for you to have a left centre-back and a right centre-footed centre-back too. And you can see Bassi, a good cross there. At the same time, again, I mean, the defenders, ball watching there, Osimhen came and missed the target.
Another thing I always say, Greg, is that sometimes when you overcrowd the defense, it becomes too difficult, because in a situation like that where there's 5 defenders from Tunisia and only 2 or 3 players from Nigeria, who's going to mark who? And then you end up not communicating, and then we just assume because Tabiso, you are next to me, when the ball comes, you closer, you're supposed to go, but there's no communication. That's why now we are left with the situation where there's 2 defenders, Osman is in the middle, he jumps by himself, and there's no pressure being put on him. And I think it has continued for about 60 minutes until Tunisia
And you'd expect more from a Tunisia team defensively that didn't concede in 10 World Cup qualifiers.
We spoke about how they've been clinical, how they've kept a clean sheet, how they've been well organized defensively. But I feel for today, like we said, they gave too much respect to Nigeria. Maybe still, I don't know. They can't be...
Now they're playing against the Super Eagles.
Stage fright at this
They gave him the same respect they gave Brazil. The 1-1 draw.
And the other thing, again, we must credit Osimhen, you know, in terms of his movements. You know, he's very good on that, you know. So his movements sometimes deceive the centre-back. But as I say, you know, you have to get one player to mark him, you know, stay with him, because he's the one going to score, not the ball.
I'm reminded of South Africa. I can't remember which game we played. But then there was a player who was given a mandate, you follow this one, even if he goes to the bathroom.
And they did.
And he did. So if they did the same thing now, when you are stuck with Osman, wherever he goes, he doesn't breathe, he must feel you on his back, then they could have eliminated some of these opportunities. But Lookman was also there, so they came as a collective.
It took 30 minutes for Tunisia to create a first attempt in this game, finally getting their striker involved, Masturi, up front there, Keneilwe.
Yes, after 30th minute, but also I was very disappointed in that there was no consistency here after. But it was a good move because here they actually got out of their half, and we did identify Greg to say for the long part of the half, Nigeria kept Tunisia in their own half. So it was actually good to see that they were able to breathe and put Nigeria under pressure to be able to get closer and show that there's potential. We are also competent, and who's able to, put in his body and then just put pressure. But also there was not enough support. But I think that was good to show that they are also still there. They're still within the game.
But we also give credit to the Nigeria coach for how he set up before the game, because even before you saw the lineup, you felt that they should go with a double pivot for this one.
Yeah, definitely, because, you're playing against the Tunisian side that very, very good in the midfield. They are ball playing players, in the midfield there, and they can strive with the ball, they can carry the ball. And, you have two midfielders, you give indeed the rest of, he can do his own job, and you have Onyeka that came in too and can do a very good job. And the same thing, you add another value to Nigerian play with the long throw, so, which was very important, and we highlighted it before the game. We talk about set piece. Set piece is going to be very important in this game, and you can see some of the most of the goals they scored in this game was set piece.
Well, shortly after that chance, they did make another effort then at Tunisia to try and look for something. They win the ball back. Great pass through the middle here, keneilwe.
And this is what I was saying to you, Tabi. As soon as they put pressure, where the transition, we just had the ball or we just won it, and now we need to quickly go forward. This is exactly what happened, and this is what they're well known for. They did it against Uganda. So the question again is, what took them so long? They must show up.
It's because they were playing the Super Eagles.
But then I think they made a mistake by relaxing from the get-go. Because also we said to Greg, anyone that's going to score the first early goal might get the upper hand, because it's going to be very difficult, because they can quickly say, let us also go and pack the bus for Nigeria. Then what was going to happen to Tunisia? So it's very dangerous. So try in the first few minutes as well, see your options, come back, regroup, and think, it's not working. What else can we do? But they literally just stood at the back. So for me, that was very worrisome. And
but with Masturi there, was that the right decision? He tried to cut in. Could he have taken it first time?
He could have taken it first time. I mean, he also had support. There was a bit of more numbers. So we talk about taking it the first time, and then the goalkeeper might deflect it. Somebody else might come and tap it in.
Okay, we're going to talk about the goalkeeper later on of Nigeria, Stanley Nwabali. But at least there were a few chances now that they were trying to create. They were finding a bit of space, and there's that danger man, Abdi.
Abdi, quality player, I mean, you can see from the red zone, you have to put it in the box. Anything can happen. I mean, you can see it could have been an own goal, or, Tunisian player could have scored, So when you put it in the box, that's where you can get goals,
Yeah, I don't know if you see the similarities, Greg and Tabiso, in how both teams are attacking, because this is also similar to what Nigeria is doing to Tunisia. Nigeria is also creating that block, which forces Tunisia now to go wide, stretch them, and then also bring a long ball, and then somebody from the opposite direction is coming. So I think you'll see also with their goals, very similar, and also how it transitioned in the later stage where Tunisia was now having the upper hand, but they were still using similar tactics as the one Nigeria did use.
Just to give credit to the coaches, I think, tactically, they really...
it was a tactical battle.
It was.
It's just some, Nigeria used more crosses, from the red zone often, which have more numbers. And the more you cross the ball, the more you're bound to have a goal. It's either your own goal or your player is there to score. So I think, credit must be given to both coaches, for their game plan, especially Tunisia, the way they end the game. So I think, good coaching in terms of the both teams.
Yeah, and that's why we had a 5-goal thriller in affairs there. But there was a bit of a scare here. I thought maybe Nwabali did well to come out here, Greg, but you're not sure.
Usually you have Bassi, who is a left-footed centre-back, so he can intercept that ball. And you still have Ajayi that is coming behind Bassi, because the striker is in between them. So there's still opportunity for the centre-backs to deal with that situation. So while they come in, if you have a player like Osimhen there, he can easily throw the ball, and you're going to be in no man's land.
For me, I still think the communication may have improved, because if you look at it again, the ball coming from the Tunisian, the Nigerian player, the defender, he was in front and the Tunisian was behind. And there was also another Nigerian defender coming. So I think that's why the goalkeeper felt I should go in, because maybe there's no communication. He doesn't see what's happening behind him. He's going. I might also come in. But I think communication is also one of the key factors that we might look into in relation to what has transpired throughout this entire match.
Yeah, it's very tough being a goalkeeper. It's a thankless job, eh?
Yeah, thankless.
But eventually the goal came, though, because they were threatening and similar to how they kept looking for Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, you can see how they rotate the ball there, you know, and very important, the first pass from Bruno, you know. And, you know, Lookman, see, he cannot cross with his left foot. He bring it back to his right foot, in swing there. And Osimhen, you know, I mean, the movement of Osimhen is very important. You can see he does that week in, week out in Turkish league, in Galatasaray, you know. So, I mean, he's one of the top scorers in Nigerian national team, and he's looking to close that Rashidi Yekini.
5 more to go.
5 more to go, you know. So I just feel like, you know, Osimhen deserves a goal in this game because he works very hard in this game. At the same time, too, you question the Tunisian defender. I think his starting point was too deep, and he's diving backward to the goal.
Yeah,
Talbi, they're getting in. They're always getting in between him, but they always say you must stop the cross first.
Yes, Nami, I always say, where does the ball come from? We must look at that. Look at that. I mean, there's no pressure. Everybody, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Tunisian defenders marking 2 people, but basically marking spaces. Nobody's putting pressure. If you had stopped the cross already, we couldn't have even went to the goal post.
But smart player to peel off, though, like you were saying, also Osimhen.
I mean, the blind spots.
Yeah, Osimhen is very good in that. He's very, you know, if you watch the game against Ajax when he scored a hat-trick in the Champions League, the same, you know. I mean, he's very, very clever. His movement in the box is very, very good. And, you know, he's a quick player, so most of his movements, that's what gives him goals, and his energy, you know, energy in the box, you know, and he's a top striker. I just think, you know, with this tournament, you know, some players grow in the tournament. I mean, this is one, he starts scoring now. Hopefully he can score, you know, throughout the tournament.
You can go there, you can take them all the way.
Hope so.
Okay, 32 goals for Nigeria, Victor Osimhen. 5 to go then to break the great Rashidi Yekini's record. Is off the mark in this tournament, but it is Lookman who has 2 goals. So at this stage, 1-0 to Nigeria, but then the rest of the goals, 4 of them coming in the second half. Stay with us, we'll take you through all of those goals.
It's 2025, and Lunch Bar is turning 60, and we are receiving new messages. I can feel their presence. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Celebrating 60 years of Cadbury Lunch Bar.
Alfonso, always take things smooth. And because it makes the ball now more faster than it ought to be. But so far, so good. They've been managing things.
And that's what we've heard so far from Morocco, Sean. The fact that the facilities has been top-notch. I mean, with all the rains we've had, there hasn't been a situation where the field has been flooded. The stadiums are immaculate, all of that stuff. Morocco is really ready for the world.
Well, nor has there been any delays in the matches. I think that's always good signs. As we know, they will be hosting the World Cup in a couple of years as well. So it shows what Africa can produce and what we're capable of handling as well. So, and it hasn't deterred also the fans from staying away. So that's the other thing that's been great.
Great. We like the fact that the fans are coming into the stadium, because at the onset, it was a bit quiet. Just look at the beauty of that stadium. This is what to look forward to tomorrow. Gabon, Mozambique, Equatorial Guinea against the Sudan. A hard fight in Sudan also. I think with what I saw Algeria play, my word, Zinedine Zidane is the happiest man seeing his son do some good job for his motherland, more or less, against Burkina Faso. Côte d'Ivoire, and I'm sure you're waiting to hear what Solomon Kalou has to say as defending champions against the domitable Lions of Cameroon. Fixtures to catch up with. I'm salivating just from that one alone, Bongani.
Yeah, they are. Again, more marquee fixtures. You know, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire. I mean, that's huge, massive. Algeria as well. I mean, they need to get a result as well. So it's getting serious. Slowly but surely, it is getting serious, and I'm sure we'll probably have to, you know, live with some more narrow victories and sort of look at more intricacies in terms of just how players combine, how players manage the sort of the fixtures. Most importantly, the defensive shape, because defenders win you the titles, because we're not seeing a lot of goals.
Excellent thoughts, gentlemen. I think it's been a good run out. You all have earned your pay for today. Proud of you all. I want to see you again another time. Sean, what is it?
No, I'm just going to, at least you can sleep tonight. So.
Thanks for hanging out with us. It's been an exhilarating moment to join us.
In swing from Lookman, and yeah, he rise high and, and I mean, for me, I just always say that, anything that comes to the box, a goalkeeper, you don't need to catch everything. Your starting point is important. Come and touch the ball. Because sometimes the defenders are tired, for them to jump up. But, I mean, credit must be given to Ndidi. I mean, that's a good goal.
But I'm also looking at the Tunisian defense. Like we said, for me, they were too reactive.
Yeah.
They were not really putting pressure on the players. And, I mean, there was not even a challenge now. When Ndidi went out, he was there by himself. And I think he's one of the shortest players. Tunisians are quite tall, so it doesn't really make sense to go say, how do you in a box not have a man next to you, literally feel him, walk around, hold his shirt or whatever. I mean,
pull the shirt.
Not pull it, but feel him. The coaches will always say to you, you must feel your defender, you must feel your play. Or even, yes, I was a defender and I was told to use your chest to make sure the player must feel you. You know what to call so.
Okay. But there was a big talking point, though, in this encounter. Tunisia had a break here. They thought that they were through on goal, but there's a tackle made by Ajay, and the ref blows.
Yeah, I think, the Malian ref, he decided to blow early. I think there's supposed to be an advantage there for Tunisian team, So, but he blew the whistle, which it sounded, everyone saw it. But, that was that tackle was necessary, from Ajay. But I just
surely here you play on.
No, you play on. You play on because you have to see the end of the action for you to bring it back to that actual first position.
Given an advantage. Maybe also he's redeeming himself because there's other opportunities that he missed to ref or rift. That's what happened there. Because also he's too close.
I think he was just too eager.
He's too close. Yeah. Maybe he was eager as well, but he's too close to the scene as well. Perhaps a quick reaction for him was, let me immediately intervene in this one.
And you can understand the frustrations of the Tunisians there because they thought they were through at goal. But was that an intentional tackle then, Greg? Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, because if
tactical tackle.
Tactical tackle there, but I think the ref, the big mistake there because you can see he came out from the defensive line and
Nwabali.
There was a big gap. Yeah, Nwabali have to, but I don't know. There he could have gotten a red card if he was a player on there. So, but I just feel the ref, saved Nigeria in this situation.
Yeah, well, Nwabali does come out. Greg doesn't like him coming out there, but there's not much he could have done in that one. But the whistle had gone before that, much to the frustrations of the Tunisian. Bobo Torre, the referee, they're blowing too early for the Tunisians' liking. Let's take a break. We'll take a look at the other goals after this short break. Looking back at Nigeria's thrilling 3-2 victory against Tunisia that sees them not only go top, but also qualify for the last 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations. 2 wins from 2 for the finalists of the last AFCON. They need to go one better at this one. They were 2-0 up at this stage against Tunisia and then 2 turned into 3. All 3 of their stars involved, Iwobi, Osimhen and Lookman getting his second goal of the tournament in this encounter. And it's good to see also these big-name players coming to the party also.
They have to. Not going to the World Cup is, it appeals to swallow. Yeah. But with this AFCON, with this performance, I think, you can see, as Mastro said, they are playing as a team now, and most importantly, the way Onyeka won that ball in the midfield. That was very, very important. He was playing with Ndidi, and Ndidi missed the first ball. He won the ball before, giving it to Iwobi. But we're going to highlight where you can see Lookman roaming about. Yeah. And the weight of the pass from Iwobi is very important.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. In the 67th minute, actually, that's when the goal came. There's the winning of the ball.
Yeah.
And then Iwobi with the pass. This is the pass you're talking about.
Weight of the pass, top class. Osimhen can shoot from there, but he decides. But the other thing again, Lookman did very well. Drop his shoulder. You saw a defender in front of him, drop his shoulder. And, for the second time in the tournament, he scored with his left foot.
Yeah, and I think also Osman there, he was in a tight angle. So I think it was very good of him, even though this became very tricky. You know, I think the power that he put behind the ball, that was very important for Lookman in order for him to convert that goal. Because had he tried to maybe place it, already he has 1, 2, 3 defenders plus the goalkeeper. So it was very good for him to.
But he's been given so much time in the box.
He did, but also just look at how he was.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this position, he played this position too in Atlanta too, in his club side, you know, just roaming about there. No one is picking him up, you know, dropping back. But, I mean, the win of that ball is very important. Onyedika, how he won that ball. And I know, indeed, he passed it on. Uwobi, the weight of the pass, the space there, you know, in between the lines. I mean, the weight for me, Uwobi in this tournament, for the past 2 games, I think he has stepped up, you know. And Lookman,
Lookman is free.
Lookman is free. No one is picking him up because they are running towards their goals. And you know, I mean, clever play from Osime there. You know, if you cannot shoot, you pass to the next guy. And you know, Lookman, I mean, as you say earlier, you know, second time scoring with his left foot. I think his left foot is more powerful than the right foot.
And they always say you want to see these midfielders making that run into the box, or that late run into the box.
The delayed run, yes. I think somebody lingering is always very important, because if you have everybody in the box, especially now playing against a team that's playing so deep in their half, either you are going to want them to make their own mistakes, or when they try to clear it, you always want somebody who's there by the 18-yard, you know, by the D-line, to say, now I can come in and take the shot. But also I'm going to highlight on the fact that the Tunisian defenders, again, even in this situation, they're facing their goals. They're not really marking the players. How do you run without feeling where your opposition is, you know? And also the fact that Lookman was so isolated, alone for a couple of seconds until he got into the box, and still no pressure
when he has the
as
ball.
he gets into the box. So that's a very concerning situation for the Tunisian coach to look at when it comes to his defense.
Yeah, there was also a concerning situation that Greg saw in the 70th minute with Nwabali. Free kick, jersey number 10, always looking for the ball, Hannibal Mebri. And you like to analyze the goalkeepers, Greg. What are you seeing here?
Yeah, you see, starting point is very good. You know, the starting point in this situation is very good. You don't need to catch every ball, but come out and deflect the ball. Because, I mean, check the time there. I mean, we're talking about 70 minutes in the game. The defenders are tired. You are using your hands. You have the advantage in the box. Your starting point is very important. And you can see it's a right-footed player. He's going to bring outswing. So your starting point, you cannot score you from that. There's no way.
So was it wrong?
No, he was right.
He was right.
This actual situation is right there. His starting point is very good. He came out and he fixed the ball out. Take out the danger out of the situation there, which is very important. Sometimes you need to allow the defenders to rest.
A member of the goalkeepers union there, backing his goalkeeper, Greg Itafia. But eventually, the goal, they were able to find a goal and get back into this game. Once again, a set piece. Talbi, who was beaten by the 2 headers of the Nigerian goal, is the one that gets it now.
For me, if we can go back and highlight that situation there, I think his starting point was very good again. But this time around, it was an in-swinger. But when he was going backward, he slipped. You see, he should have, when he was going backward, he slipped. His starting point was very good from the defense for the on goal, but he slipped there, and you can see, I think he got injured in that situation there. Because this was an in-swinger.
Let's take a look at it again then. Show us that starting point that you are talking about then, Greg Itafia.
You see, 2 yards away from his line, which is very important. From there, because the ball is coming actually to that place, because they are running towards, you see, going backward was not necessary. But going backward now, because of the condition on the pitch, and because it was wet, you know, in the first half it was raining, so he slept there, you know.
Yeah, he does look like a slayer, slips.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything there, but the good thing, the starting point, but what he did wrong for him to go backward. You could have go forward there, because everything in front of you, you can use your hand because you have advantage. You're using your hand. You can come and deflect. You don't need to catch every ball in the box. Just come and deflect the ball, which is very important. You can check the time there. You know, the defenders.
74th minute.
Which is very, because as a goalkeeper, you know, you are a half team. A good goalkeeper is a half team, and this kind of situation, that's where you come and help your defenders.
I think also for me there, we need to also highlight the defense of the Nigerian team. They also did what the Tunisian team did not do in the first half, where there was no competition when he went up for the ball. He also just showed up in the middle in front of the 2 defenders from Nigeria. The question is, why is there nobody competing? We spoke about the goalkeeper being a good position, but I think also had somebody maybe distracted him, he was not going to be able to get such an opportunity to direct the ball in the right direction, because there was going to be combating that's happening or somebody that's just making him feel uncomfortable. But I think he was too comfortable because there was not a lot of pressure.
Interesting list, the same player that was beaten twice by the headers, and now he comes back and he redeems himself at Talbi. And then 83rd minute, this is when things were getting interesting. Now 3-1 at this stage, Tunisia come back with another chance. They were piling more pressure now, and this is what you like, keneilwe, because now they'd come out of their shell.
Yes, this is what we expected from Tunisia from the get-go, because it's basically a continuation from what they did in the last match. So we were saying now with the grec, why did they wait this long? Now they were putting Nigeria under pressure. They were showing up the transition. We lost the ball, we put pressure. We are high in their half. Nigeria is now sitting with 7 defenders, which is what was happening. So it's basically almost like deja vu, but now the roles have switched. Tunisia is now what Nigeria was doing to them in the first half. A lot of attempts, a lot of bodies in the box, a lot of opportunities, a lot of frustration from the Nigerian defenders and the goalkeeper as well, which I also believe it kind of exposes them to say if they do get somebody who's going to put them under pressure, they will be able to break as well, because, I mean, any team can break.
And these chances for Tunisia came after the subs now, because we saw Simon come in, we saw a GK coming on there, and it looked like it was a different ball game after
It was
that.
a different ball game. I understand probably the coach, Richel, try to, attack more. This is the best way to defend is to attack, but not in a big tournament like the AFCON, because
when you're leading
training, so you have to protect what you have. I think a defensive, if you are taking Onyeka out, you need to get, because they are strong in set piece, Polonaccio can come inside because you took Adam out, so you have the likes of Victor Samuel, GK, and you have Lookman. They are just, their height is a little bit, they can't compete, and Tunisia, we said it, Master has actually highlighted it before the game. Both sides defending and attacking, set piece was very important, and they could have done with Polonaccio go inside there to help them, even in the set piece,
Yeah, and then there was a big talking point that led to the second goal, and when we talk about a talking point, we talk VAR, because VAR has been a big talking point, how it's been used here in this AFCON, especially when the North Africans are involved. We're going to take a look at this, because it was a penalty that was called. How did you see it at the handball?
What's the rule at the handball? Well, it says if your arm is extended, you can see Lapano by Ubani.
Right side?
Yes, he had his hand extended, even though it was not necessarily because he was jumping, but the fact that he has the hand extended, the law says if it's not a natural position for the hand to be in, so automatically that will need to
But it's not intentional, though.
It's not intentional.
Like he's going for the header there.
But that's my thing. The law, how it's now interpreted, it says that's not the natural position of the hand. The hands are supposed to be close to you. That's why they say even when you fall, they look at where the hand is. If it's your arm is above, like your head.
The other thing again, just to add what Master is saying, it's difficult for you to jump
without using your arms.
So I just feel like, this rule, South Africa was, I was very, very angry, not to give that penalty, because you interpret the other one different way, and you can see, most of the decision, Morocco,
Egypt, inconsistency,
and this one again, most of the North African countries are getting, anytime the ref go to the VAR, either a penalty.
Say it, Greg. Say it loudly. But soft penalty then for you, for both of you.
Very, very soft.
Very soft, yes. But I think also it goes back to the pressure that now Tunisia has put in Nigeria in that moment, where now we're panicking, we're trying to do whatever we need to do to try and eliminate as much of them in the box. So I think also he was just trying to protect himself by extending his arm not to collide with him to avoid a penalty. But unfortunately, because of the flight of the ball, they both misjudged it, or the intelligent...
Nothing soft about the penalty taken by Abdi.
Abdi,
for me, this would have been the next candidate for man of the match. For Abdi, I think he did exceptionally well. from the beginning of the game until the end. Like I said, for me, in defense and in attack, he was a very crucial point for Tunisia.
That's how you take a penalty. If you're not sure, the goalkeeper is not sure, just whack it in the net.
How nervous were you at this stage now?
Yeah, you know,
like
I
couldn't sit down.
I couldn't sit down. I was sweating now.
You were moving around.
I was moving around, my man. I mean, this is the beauty of AFCON, the beauty of what we want to see. You know, a lot of entertaining game. We want to entertain, score a lot of goals. But I mean, Tunisia, we expected them to start from the beginning like this.
Yeah, and they did have a final opportunity to equalize and get a point out of this encounter. Incredibly, from 3-0 down, they were 3-2. They could have made it 3-3, and it fell for the captain. Sassi here, what a chance. And this is the pressure that you were talking about, keneilwe.
So close, and yet so far. I think it's we need to give credit to Tunisia, how they recovered, how they changed the tables or turned the tables, when now Nigeria is the one who's facing their own goals, who's trying to run after Tunisia. But I think the positioning, we speak about, listen, quality. Ooh. He was also in the middle of the two defenders, nobody marking him. It was just unfortunate.
The same goal Osimhen scored.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, the same, you know, coming back, in swing, you know, red zone. You have to put it in the box. But, I mean, just unfortunately didn't hit the target. But this is supposed to be a goal.
That's why I say, if you look at this game, literally the first half of Nigeria became Tunisia's second half. Yeah. Exactly the same play. Because Nigeria also came together as a group and packed the bus, now forcing Tunisia to go wide, to bring in the crosses. You get the strikers who are picking up in the pockets and then positioning themselves. Still no one marking from Nigeria as well. So it's a mirror of what happened in the second half. It's just that it was a different team.
Yeah, like they always say, it was a game of two halves then, with Nigeria dominating the first half, started strong in the second half, but Tunisia came back very strong in this encounter. But that's how it finished in Fez, a Group C encounter, top of the table clash, Nigeria winning 3-2. They go top of the group. They've also qualified for the last 16, most importantly. We're going to take a short break and we'll hear from one of the coaches, maybe the Nigeria coach, since they won, Eric Chele, to find out how he looks back at this game.
Soak up Africa's greatest football rivalry, live on SABC2. Due to live AFCON games, some episodes of Guyani may be interrupted in prime time. But the Land of Blood doesn't sleep. Keep up with the story and watch the repeat of Guyani weekdays at 10 in the morning and the Weekend Omnibus Saturday afternoons from 1. The drama on the field continues and the drama in Guyani awaits on SABC2.
Reality over greed. Perseverance.
Hallelujah. Deal or no deal. Mondays to Fridays at 6:30 on SABC2.
Once in a generation, a show reminds us why we love television. From Alaska came a story that touched our hearts. A series that gave television its soul and redefined storytelling. A groundbreaking dramedy. Bold, brilliant, unforgettable. 27 awards and 116 nominations. Timeless TV. Northern Exposure, Monday to Friday, 9:30.
The goal is to get to the top. And shout it out loud, New Year's Day is a good time to get cracking, and this is what we got to get you going. As always, start your day at 6 with the breakfast team on Morning Live. At 2 o'clock, the Basadi in Music Awards. It's going to be everything and more. A night to celebrate the stars. Deal or no deal.